obviously Aidan Hutchinson's better this year than he was last year because he missed most of last year. But the start he had last year was better probably than what he's done this year. Is that fair?
He's currently at the same, like he was what? He played five, how many games he played last year? 5?
Played five and change, 6, but I mean he was hurt in the 6th.
Right.
And he had 7.5 sacks.
He's currently at 8.
Yeah.
After 12 weeks.
Right. And that's what you get paid for. I know people will talk about pressures, and you and I kind of go crazy with that. I don't know if we're expecting a Myles Garrett 18-sack performance out of him sometime in his career. But when you get paid, Yeah, I was just going to say, when you get paid certain ways, those expectations rise.
Yep. Please stop telling me about quarterback pressures, and this is why. You have to finish the conversation. When people talk about the quarterback pressures or these randomly made-up PFF stats that they give as it relates to Aidan Hutchinson, it's cool to get the pressures when you're getting interceptions. It's cool to get the pressures when you're keeping the quarterback off track. Now he has to throw the ball out of bounds, throw the ball, you're getting sacks. It's cool when you do that and it really affects the game. It's not cool when you're getting pressures. See, this is the other side of that stat. It doesn't tell you what happened on that pressure. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to get pressure, and now Jameis Winston still has 355. So, the pressure thing is very subjective, and you have to be careful. You can have 18 pressures. All 18 of those can be completions.
Exactly.
All 18 can be completions.
Point.
So I need, not us, not this show, but I need people to stop talking about the pressure so much because there's not being much seen behind the pressure. There's not the interceptions. There's not, sacks on the other side by anybody else. Al-Qadim Muhammad has 6 on the season. I appreciate that. He don't even play the majority of snaps on the opposite side. It's Tyrus Week.
Yeah.
So the quarterback pressures are cool when there's something behind them. Right now it feels like it's not as much behind them as people make it out to be.
Yeah, look, if you want to be compared to certain players, I'm not saying Aidan Hutchinson is like this, but I think our fan base is.
Yeah.
If you're talking about Myles Garrett, if you're talking about Brian Burns, you're talking about Will Anderson Jr., who we love, these guys are all double-digit sacks. Look, you said from the get-go about Green Bay, Micah Parsons will be a difference maker.
Yeah.
You didn't say it just in his numbers. You were talking about how he affected the entire defense.
Yes.
Green Bay's defense is a son of a bitch. And by the way, he's got 10 sacks. Rashawn Gary hasn't had as many as I thought he would because of Parsons.
Very true.
Okay, he's got 7.5, I think. But still, their defense is really good. He's made a massive difference to the entire defense. I'm not saying Aidan Hutchinson hasn't, but sometimes, and you're right, sometimes numbers lie. By the way, I was wrong. I said 7.5 sacks for Aidan Hutchinson. He has 8.5. But I said 7.
You said 7.5 for
last year.
Yeah, you're right. You're correct.
So I think the expectation is, and it's not unreasonable, even if you're going to get double-teamed.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett gets double-teamed. Brian Burns gets double-teamed. Micah Parsons gets double-teamed. That's the reason you get paid the amount of money you do.
Also, too, you look at some of the matchups this year, man, there's been a lot of favorable matchups for Aidan Hutchinson. There's been a lot of teams whose offensive line have been depleted. He's played against a lot of backups. There's been a lot of teams that just aren't necessarily that good. So you would like to see more. But
am I reading in this that he's been a disappointment this year, or is that too far? Do we think he's been? Be fair, okay? You're not being a hater because you've loved him because he played at your damn school, okay? So this is not a knock on him per se, but there are some people who are they come up a little bit shorter than maybe you expected.
I wouldn't say it's a disappointing year, but it's a confusing year because at the end of the day, I believe that the health side of things has already passed. I believe that the health or the mental aspect of it or really being back and fully that marker passed. And the gameplay hasn't taken off more or the gameplay hasn't gotten to a space where last year after that, because he got hurt in the Dallas Cowboys game.
Correct.
But after that Bucks game and then the Dallas Cowboys game, which he had a sack and a half, I want to say. After that game, you're like, I think I might have been wrong about Aidan in terms of because I didn't think he was the number 2 pick overall that year. I didn't think Aidan was going to be this. After that start, I said, man, you know what? Did I misread that? Mm-hmm. Is Aidan going to be a lot better than I thought? And that's where my mind was. So coming into this year, I didn't have any judgment of him. You know what I'm saying? Early on, I told you, I said, you take a step back. Sure. Week 4, you figure it out. But where my mind was last year, my mind has not got back to that place as it relates to him this year. So I'm not saying it's a disappointment, but it's confusing.
I think that's a really good way to put it. I liken it to this, and maybe this is bad, and you guys feel free to call me out. I liken it to Riley Green with the Tigers. Riley Green had 38 bombs.
Yeah.
He drove in 111. He batted .260, and everybody remembers his 202 strikeouts. And overall, his numbers are pretty good.
Yeah.
Aidan Hutchinson right now with 8.5 sacks, still not terrible.
No,
okay,
that probably puts him like top 12.
Yeah, it does.
Top 12.
And if you're looking at it like that, should we be understanding a little bit more of, what our expectations were of him? If you're top 10 in sacks, there's something to be said for that, and he's got plenty of time to try and gain ground. But when you have other players like Josh Sweat and Byron Young and Nick Bonito ahead of you, and you're getting paid what you do, and I know that sometimes you cringe at that, but that's the way it works sometimes. Too much is given, much is expected.
Yeah, 100%. Frankly put, if we want to be honest, the two individuals that you extended this offseason, or not this offseason, both were in season.
In season.
The two individuals that you extended in season, neither one of them are performing to the level of pay. And you pay J-Mo $29 million a year. Moving forward next year, he'll be making $29 million a year. Where's 28 of that? Like, where's 28 of that on the field? You pay Aidan Hutchinson to be one of the elite pass rushers because that's what you feel about him. Where's that at?
Yeah.
So these are situations where we're just picking on the Lions because the Lions are struggling. We're trying to make some conversation. Hey, clickbait. Hey, you type on this and see what we have to say. No, these are real, factual questions. You paid this man this. Where's that? You paid this man this. Where's that?
Mm-hmm. Somebody in the chat said he's coming back off a broken leg.
Right.
Come on. He was having a monster year last year before that and got hurt. Let's be real. Well, so he was having a monster year.
Right.
He gets hurt. What have we said? The Lions obviously feel they've seen enough to extend him and make him the second highest paid player, or is he the highest paid non-quarterback player is what I was going to say.
He's
the second highest to Micah Parsons. Yeah. So obviously they saw something. I would ask you in the chat, and KMG King 420 is the one who said that. What does last year have to do with this year? At what point are you going to stop using he had a broken leg and he was coming off a really good year? What difference does that make right now at 8.5 sacks and with the contract extension?
At the same time, like legitimately, don't in week 3 see Aidan Hutchinson beat a triple team. I can't remember what game it was. He beats the triple team and everybody comes to the network and what is it? Oh, Aidan's back. Aidan's back. Yeah. We get to game 4 and you see him break a couple double teams. Like, oh, look, he's even breaking double teams now. He's back. You can't tell me that in week 3, week 4, and then 9 weeks later tell me, well, he's coming off an injury. We're past that point. Like, we're past that point. It was a broken leg, and it wasn't even a ligament-type injury. It was a broken leg. It heals faster. Doc's told you that he was ready back in August. Doc's told you he was back ready in July, and he was ready to go. He's been ready, and then he got the NFL, like the get back to the suit of the game, how the game feels, the mental aspect of the game. That was 9 weeks ago.
Right.
So that's
people forget how good he was last year.
I think that
truly, part. He was a Terminator last year. Like, you couldn't put enough guys in front of him, and he was still finding ways to get to the quarterback. And this year, double team, simple chip maneuvers have been able to keep him at bay, and that's just not what you can have when you're getting paid at the level he's getting paid. If you make more than Myles Garrett, you at least have to be in the stratosphere. I'm not asking you to be Myles Garrett, but I'm asking you to be in the stratosphere. I'm asking you to be a top 5 edge in the NFL. And he still has a lot of runway, a lot of season left, and he was in the early part of the season, but we need that part of Hutch back.
Yeah, remember this, though. We almost used that as a bit of an explanation on why Detroit as a team struggled against Green Bay in week 1. Then the next week against Chicago, he performs really well. That included a sack. The following week against Baltimore, he performs really well. That included a sack. If we're going to feel like Braylon was saying earlier this season that he's back, he looks comfortable now. He looks sure of his leg. He looks sure of himself. And the Lions basically told us that by giving him that type of contract. Why can't I continue to expect it throughout the season? I don't think that's unrealistic. When we come back, we will talk more about the advantages of Detroit and the advantages of Green Bay. That's number 1. And number 2, what's the one thing that needs to change the most from their week 1 clash to now their Thanksgiving Day battle.